rumble of the discourse. We've taken an abandoned concrete factory at the margins of the declining American empire and repurposed it into a battleground where 19 separate entities from across the political spectrum enter the discourse one by one and do battle to determine who controls the narrative force of the discourse. I hope you'll join me, your Southern Gothic futurist host Dirk God Raven Mac, for each and every episode of Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are back here at the abandoned concrete factory at the edge of town for Monday Night Rumble of the Discourse. Look, man, I explain every week how this works, but I'm going to assume that those of y'all that actually tuning in know how it is. If you don't know how it goes, just read them things there on the screen and explain how this is 27 people that have a competition. It's a 7-week series, and this is week 6, man, so we're setting up for the finale next week, season finale. As always, we are sponsored by friends at Catbird, so we got What's the Word Catbird because of that. And I gotta be honest with you, we didn't actually get a What's the Word Catbird response because me and Catbird was talking out in the parking lot beforehand, got into a heated discussion. My girlfriend gave me a big bag of mustard greens the other day, so I just been riding around eating them raw, and I had my bag of mustard greens eating them raw, and got to talking to Catbird about the best greens. Catbird said collards are best. There's a reason everybody loves them. I swear by mustard greens, so I didn't really get an official What's the Word Catbird because me and him and a couple other people was arguing about the best greens, and he said collards. I'll let him have that, but nah, man, he's wrong though. Anyways, didn't have no additional sponsorship this week, man. So the last few weeks we've had some additional sponsorship beyond the Friends of Catbird. My Venmo and Cash App are right there. Hit me with some love, man. You know, if you want, if you can, if you appreciate this thing, just hit me with some love. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, our standings after 5 of 7 events. See Mike Johnson up at the top. Donald Trump got in the second after last week. A homeless guy, President Biden. We got a bunch of other folks there on that page. Chase Oliver is not a NASCAR driver. That's actually the Libertarian candidate for president. He won one of our weeks. And then you see the bootlicker, RFK Jr. So you see that drop to 6 points. RFK Jr., Samuel Alito, the wealthy leftist, and you got 5-4. And we got a whole batch of people at 3 and 2. So Bob, I want to expand that 3 and 2. So you can see with 3 points so far, and I show you this, expand this, because everybody tonight is in that 1 to 3 point range. So these are people trying to get additional points to make the finale next week. So the cutoff probably going to be 2 or 3 points. I don't know. We'll see where we're at the end of the night. But all these people, you see Lauren Boebert, J.D. Vance, Greg Abbott, Mitt Romney, a whole bunch of people there. Kamala Harris down there. Hillary, the tech lord, the 3%er. They got 2 points. Beyond that, you got Brooklyn Dad Defiant, Critical Thinking Punk, and then these one-pointers, Steve Bannon, Dark Brandon, Elon Musk, The Immigrant, and even looky there, I'm on that list too. I am not competing tonight. This full list of 3 through 1 points, we had 3 people that did not make the cut for tonight, and I opted out, so I'm not in it. But what I'm saying is all these people in this 3 to 1 point range, they're the ones who have to get some points tonight and finish in that final 4 hopefully, but at least eliminate some people to qualify for next week's season finale. So let's go ahead and go on up to the ring and see how this thing plays out tonight. Of course, the Lady Cop and the Police State are our referees as always. So everybody coming out tonight has scored at least a point thus far in our Spring 2024 series, but they need more to qualify for next week's finale. And here comes Cornel West, that third-party candidate for president. I love Cornel West, man, and actually I actually lost respect for him when he ran for president, because who the hell runs for president, man? And he's going to be facing Jill Stein, the Green Party candidate for president. So we got a little third-party debate going on here. Be interesting to see what happens. You know, I like supporting third parties. I support a fourth, a fifth, a sixth party. I don't like the idea that it's electoral politics. It should only be the main 2 voting. I say screw that, man. Have 6 or 7 of them and let them figure out how they gonna get along with each other by how we vote. You know, I don't. 2-party politics just ain't working, man. Jill Stein with a big kick on Cornel West. So we got a little third-party debate. They're not going to qualify for the main debates if those debates happen. Speaking of debates, we'll probably be coming back with our summer series the week after that first debate. So be on the lookout for that. If you're wondering how long. And Cornell got old Jill Stein up for the suplex there for a while. Held her up, and she came tumbling down. Cornell giving her some punches. Putting it to her. Jill tries to get him up, but can't. We got a new entrant coming out. Been a minute, so another entrant comes out, and it's Eric Adams, New York City mayor. Former cop, New York City mayor. Doing a little two-step as he comes down the aisle, and he's going to get up in this thing, too. And Adams dropped immediately on one of those ladders, so those ladders represent the meritocracy myth in America, that you can, anybody from anywhere can climb their way to anything. And as a 51-year-old man who has experienced class transition, I can tell you that's a goddamn lie. You can't be anything, man. You really can't. Eric Adams going for the pin on Cornell. Only a 1 count. There's a hammer in there, and Cornell took it from the police state, and police state gave him a backhand and took it back. And now joining, we got the university president. Of course, when those Students for Justice for Palestine protests were happening, there's a pin on Jill Stein by Cornell West. So Jill Stein is eliminated. Cornell West takes out his third-party opposition in Jill Stein, and she is gone. So that university president is out there. Of course, he has scored some points. Just SJP student got no points, so she's not here tonight. But that university president graduation has happened. He shifted into donor mode, trying to get those donations, which is what a president of a university is mostly for. And looks like we got someone else coming out. And it is Chuck Schumer. So Senator Chuck Schumer from New York Senate, Democratic leader. So we got Schumer, the university president, Eric Adams, and Cornell West. And Cornell West going for the quick pin on Schumer, but nobody there to count. Lady cop finally comes in, only a 1 count. Adams up on the top rope with a leg drop, another leg drop on Cornell. And university president on the top rope gets down. That's a dangerous spot to be in. And we're going to have somebody else join them. Cornell West over the top rope there. He got back in, and Elise Stefanik comes out. One of these Trump ass kissers in the Republican Party, which is the whole Republican Party now. And she drops that university president right away. Only a 1 count there. Cornell staggering. He's looking a little dazed, a little worse for wear. Discourse will do that to you, especially when you're a man with a philosophy degree. Get too caught up in the discourse as a philosophical type, you'll have an existential crisis. And university president jumping on Cornell West and takes him out. He might get a spike in donations for that. Took out Cornell West. At the same time, we get a buzzer. And it's Elon Musk. Proof that the meritocracy is not real and that complete fucking idiots can be billionaires. Twitter's been moving steadily right. I still have a lot of close friends on Twitter that I no longer get to communicate with because that's their chosen form of social media, but I left it. I left it behind, and I can't. I don't like my brain being poisoned by the algorithm, the way they were changing and all the shit like that got put into my view, man. And luckily, I don't see as much Elon Musk now that I'm not on there. He's pretty much just siloed his own self there. So we got Eric Adams, university president, Chuck Schumer, Elon Musk, and now coming out too is Brooklyn Dad Defiant. Speaking of Twitter and social media, Brooklyn Dad Defiant, you're going to start seeing as we get closer to the presidential election, these operatives come out, and your less digitally savvy friends are probably going to be retweeting, or you know what you see, you always see posts from Twitter or X that get screenshot and posted on Instagram. That's the internet right there. A Twitter screenshot posted on Instagram. So you'll be seeing them posting Brooklyn Dad Defiant, telling you got to vote for the Democrats or else your democracy is dead, even though democracy might already be dead. And if it actually is on the line, we don't necessarily have the most inspirational people trying to fight it. And speaking of digital operatives, here comes Dark Brandon. And Brooklyn Dad Defiant gets a pin on University President over there. So Brooklyn Dad Defiant takes out that University President. Dark Brandon is out. You're going to be seeing everybody trying to make old Grandpa Joe seem like a hip cyber individual here in the coming months with some really corny-ass memes. I'm sure they'll be hiring influencers, too. So go back to that Venmo, RavenMac23, that Cash App, RavenMac23. I am a influencer of the doomed. Brooklyn Dad Defiant eliminated there by Eric Adams, who did a little celebratory jig after doing so. Here comes Alex Jones, man. InfoWars, he eliminated 3 people last week. Alex Jones is out, throws that camera down. He's in the mix. Oh, man, one of those ladders got crushed. Dark Brandon went down. Eric Adams went down. Alex Jones goes down. And at least Stefanik pins Alex Jones already, so maybe he did catch the shadow ban. Eliminated 3 people last week, quickly eliminated this week, and then Elon even gets a shot on him. So the Alex Jones era might be over. And 2 count on Elon by Eric Adams. So to reset who's in here, well, no, there's a pin on. We got Eric Adams, New York City Mayor, Chuck Schumer, New York State Senator, Elise Stefanik, New York Congresswoman, Elon Musk, and Dark Brandon. So New York heavy, man. And here comes the Blue Sky Communist. And Chuck Schumer got tossed there. Chuck Schumer eliminated, so Blue Sky Communist comes out. Of course, that super allegedly progressive guy that always telling you everything you shouldn't be doing. And there's a pin. Elon Musk pins Elise Stefanik, so she's gone. Blue Sky Communist, I hang with this dude. I've kicked it with him before, but man, I get tired of people telling me what I shouldn't be doing all the time. And that's not a contrarian thing. It's just like, damn, man. Like, don't be so fucking negative. And here comes Greg Abbott, governor of Texas, through the magic realism of the discourse. Is not in that wheelchair. He's out there about to cause some damage, baby. Blue Sky Communist going after Elon Musk and then twisting Dark Brandon, but he gets knocked loose there. Punches being thrown out. Eric Adams has been out there for a while. He's lasted a while. Well, maybe not for long. He just got dropped on that ladder by Dark Brandon, but Dark Brandon couldn't get the cover. Greg Abbott having trouble getting to his feet. And there's a pin on Dark Brandon by the Blue Sky Communist, so Dark Brandon is gone. And just as Dark Brandon goes, we get another cringe politician from the previous generation, Hillary Clinton. So with Trump's conviction, you know she's going to be circulating because she's felt like we've owed her a presidency since 2008. Actually, since Clinton, her husband. She's felt that since her husband was probably president. But 2008, of course, she felt like she got jumped in line by Obama. Pretty much expected to be president 2016, but screwed it up. And she does pin Elon Musk, so I'll give her that. Thank you, Hillary, for that. I'll stand with H if she's taking out Elon Musk. But she's going to be making the rounds, rewriting history, thinking that she was the first woman president. But you know what, man? It wasn't just Trump's bullshit that did 2016. It was just, you can't coast to a victory. It's the hare and the rabbit. The rabbit was coasting to an easy victory and got beat by a pretty corrupt, maniacal, narcissistic hare there. I mean, tortoise. The hare and the rabbit. The tortoise and the rabbit. You know what the hell I'm talking about. Kristi Noem's come out, South Dakota governor, front runner to be that vice president candidate for Trump. We'll see how that goes. I mean, the Republican convention is coming up soon, so that'll probably be part of our summer series, and we really don't know who the vice president's going to be. And we get a buzzer, and joining the mess is that critical thinking punk. Here he comes, man. Blue Sky Communist got pinned in there, so he's gone. Just as the critical thinking punk comes out. And there was an attempt on Eric Adams by Greg Abbott. Kristi Noem and Hillary Clinton going at it with a little cat fight there, and Hillary rolls her up. Only a 1 count. And the critical thinking punk got that chair and nails Eric Adams. Greg Abbott hanging tough. Hillary going for a pin. Nobody there to count it. Somebody finally gets over there. Only a 2 count before Kristi Noem kicks out. And hey, here we go. It's Pride Month. Pete Bourgeoisie, Secretary of Electric Biking, is out. Of course, pivotal in 2020 and doing the job, making sure the job went through on Bernie Sanders to keep him from causing too much trouble to Biden's eventual appointment. People weren't on board. And Eric Adams over the top rope, he's gone. Long performance there by Eric Adams, but he's finally eliminated. Hillary over the top rope, and she's gone. So we're down to 4. We've got Greg Abbott still in there, Texas governor, South Dakota governor, Kristi Noem, critical thinking punk, and Pete Bourgeoisie. And here's another potential vice president, my arch nemesis, Senator J.D. Vance from Ohio. That 1 point I scored was eliminating him. I can't stand him as a fake Appalachian, and I still plan on, hopefully one day at some flea market down the road, having an Appalachian chain match with him. J.D. Vance over the top rope. He doesn't go out, though. He gets back in, and critical thinking punk nails him. And on that top rope and the critical thinking punk down, I don't think the critical thinking punk thinks too much of J.D. Vance either. And he drops him right on his face and goes for the pin. So J.D. Vance is gone just like that. Good job, critical thinking punk. J.D. Vance is taken out. And here comes AOC. I think AOC had 3 points, so she's right on the verge there. And J.D. Vance going up and down the ropes there in the corner. I don't know what the hell's going on in his mind. He's lost his damn mind. AOC with a quick roll-up on the critical thinking punk. 2 count. And there's a pin on Greg Abbott. And that's elimination. AOC takes out Greg Abbott, so he is eliminated. And Pete Bourgeoisie goes up on that top rope, and J.D. Vance knocks him off, even though J.D. Vance has already been eliminated. Who gets the point for that, Bob? My producer, Bob Dobolino. Who's going to get the point for that Bourgeoisie elimination? Yeah, I guess the critical thinking punk and Kristi Noem both get tossed at the same time. AOC knocked them both down, and the 3%er comes out. So we got a mess here, man. The 3%er is out with AOC, and they're the only 2 in the ring right now. And there's a pin on the AOC. Oh, just a 1 count. J.D. Vance's fool ass is still going up and down that corner post, man. What is wrong with him? What an idiot. God, I hate that guy. 3%er nails AOC with one of those briefcases full of super PAC money, and he gets a pin. So AOC is eliminated, and we get a buzzer. So Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, of course, he admitted this past week that he did take money for our expensive trips from that Harlan Crow dude, the billionaire. Which, is that his name, Harlan Crow? That sounds like the bad guy from Walking Tall or something. Doesn't even sound real. He goes for a quick pin on the 3%er, but nothing yet. J.D. Vance still running around in the corner there. And he finally gets knocked by a suplex. 3%er suplexes Clarence Thomas and knocks J.D. Vance off that corner finally. Get his dumb ass out of here. 3%er nails Clarence Thomas. And we got a buzzer. Let's see who it is. It's Clarence Thomas and 3%. It's Mitt Romney, senator from Utah, not running for re-election, alleged centrist, giving up the fight against the Trumpification of the Republican Party. 2 of those meritocracy ladders are stacked up together. So we got a Supreme Court justice, a Utah senator, and then a 3%er. Mitt Romney kicking that 3%er and going for a pin. Only a 2 count. So these 3 are going at sort of Discourse, sort of leaning right. Same thing that's been happening over in France and Germany. The Discourse is leaning right. Of course, we only deal with the American Discourse here at this particular abandoned concrete factory at the edge of town. Here comes Do Your Own Researcher, and the 3%er drops Mitt Romney on that ladder and eliminates him. So the Do Your Own Researcher comes in to join the 3%er and Clarence Thomas. Clarence Clarence Thomas putting a beating on that do your own researcher right away and going for a quick pin. This could be just a 1 count. So we've got 5 folks left to come in. 3 in there, and there's a 3%er dropped on his head. Do your own researcher going for the pin, didn't get it. The Tech Lord comes out to join him. Tech Lord joining the melee here. Gets a kick on Clarence Thomas right away. Tech Lord is so huge, man. Such a big influence on the Discourse is the Tech Lord. And he just backhanded. Clarence going after him. He had him on the top rope. He comes down and misses a punch. I don't know who he was even trying to punch. I think he was kind of got torn between Clarence Thomas and do your own researcher and didn't know who to go for. Beating on Thomas with that briefcase. The 3%er and do your own researcher having their little mini Discourse over there on the other side. And there's a pin on that 3%er by the do your own researcher, and that 3%er is eliminated as Vice President Kamala Harris comes out. Kamala Harris is not qualified for our finale next week. President Biden's going to need that support. Kamala Harris got to pull her weight, man. She's got Clarence Thomas up, but can't hold him up. So we've got 3 folks left to come. Of course, our final 4 will get bonus points. Pin on the do your own researcher, only a 2 count. Our final 4, those final 4 will definitely be in that finale next week. Well, I can't say 100% definitely, but I would assume so because those bonus points should put them on that leaderboard for the top 27. We get a buzzer, and coming out is, oh man, Steve Bannon. Of course, he was told to report to jail this past week. Supposed to do a few months in jail for, I don't even know what the hell it was for. That man's done so much weird, crazy behind-the-scenes stuff. Kamala Harris almost pinned Steve Bannon, and that's the thing about the Trump thing is even if democracy is saved, allegedly, by Trump not winning, you know, these creeps like Bannon, man, they're going to find somebody stronger to support eventually doesn't have the weaknesses Trump does. And these guys are intent on breaking the American government, and they're going to be successful unless something drastic happens, to be honest. And I don't mean voting. Something drastic has to happen. Well, coming out now is that New York Times op-ed, that op-ed writer for the New York Times, and of course he's going to be hitting you hot and heavy with how democracy is on the line here, but you have to vote for Biden. He's going to be hitting you with that. And I will never understand how if democracy is on the line, why are you telling me to not vote for people? Like, that's just the weirdest thing. Like, don't vote third party. Democracy's on the line. Narrow your choices. Democracy is on the line. Like, I don't think y'all understand how that works. But, hey, I'm just a simple country boy from Meharry, Virginia. Maybe I don't know. And there's a 2 count on Steve Bannon, but he kicks out. And our final entrant tonight, the immigrant, my man, the immigrant. Found out from previous weeks he's a Club America fan, so I can appreciate that. And they, of course, and the immigrant immediately eliminates Do Your Own Researcher. They, of course, won the most recent Mexican football title. So we're down to 6. Let's see. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas is out there. Vice President Kamala Harris. Evil billionaire Steve Bannon. New York Times op-ed writer guy. The immigrant and the tech lord. So these 6 are our final 6, looking to be the final 4 and get those bonus points, and even looking to win this thing and get. And there's a pin on Kamala Harris. She's gone. Clarence Thomas eliminates Kamala Harris. Could be foreboding too, because the Supreme Court might end up deciding this election. Who knows? So we are now down to 5. And there's a pin attempt on the tech lord. New York Times op-ed, he takes out the tech lord. Steve Bannon has been busted wide open. Kamala Harris is busted open. Steve Bannon is bloody, man, as is Kamala Harris, but she is eliminated. Clarence Thomas over the top rope, but not eliminated. Our final 4, Clarence Thomas, Steve Bannon, New York Times op-ed, and the immigrant, although New York Times op-ed pinned right there by Steve Bannon. So we're down to our final 3. Clarence Thomas, Steve Bannon, and the immigrant. I got a feeling they're going to team up against the immigrant. I can't see Steve Bannon and Clarence Thomas really. They both kind of hate the immigrant. The immigrant going after Steve Bannon. Nice rolling neck breaker there. Bannon's up first, though. Clarence Thomas and Steve Bannon lock up again. The immigrant laying over there, collecting himself, trying to get it back together. New York Times op-ed, he finally seems to be getting out of the way. Come on, immigrant. I want to see the immigrant win this thing, man. I don't like these other guys. Maybe that's what saves America. A bunch of immigration. I mean, that's what saved it in the past. I think a lot of people don't realize that they're against immigration, don't realize that America, as it stands, is a pyramid scam. So if you don't have new people coming in to prop up the pyramid scam, you are not going to do well. Of course, when you realize that, you realize how unjust the whole thing is. And I mean, civilization is overrated. What can you do? Me personally, I like to sit out in the yard at least an hour every evening. No phone, nothing. Just sit out there. Get a good trash barrel fire going. My neighbors are annoying me. I'll make sure to throw some plastic in there too. The immigrant over the top rope, and he's gone. The immigrant is out. Man, I'm bummed. The immigrant got eliminated. So our final two are corrupt Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas and corrupting influence on American society, Steve Bannon. And they're going at it, giving each other some punches. I got a feeling Thomas is tough, but Bannon, man, he kind of controls the strings here, I would feel it. He tries to get one of those ladders set up, and Thomas gives him a kick. Bannon goes back to it. Thomas won't let him. Throws him over there into those ring steps, and Thomas sets up that meritocracy ladder. Of course, he has to say that he's got to hold that meritocracy myth for himself. Meritocracy myth, both parties still hold on to that meritocracy myth. That justifies their positions at the top of the pyramid scam as the two all-seeing eyeballs. Thomas going for a pin on Bannon. Referee out of position, but he gets down there. It's just a one count. Thomas kicked onto that ladder when he kicked out. Those ladders hurt, man. I can tell you from that 1 week I was in there, they hurt. Oh, man, Bannon just beating Thomas with that bat. Waiting for another shot and nails him again in the back. And on the back again, going for a pin. That's got to be it. No, just a one count. Clarence Thomas nails Bannon one time, punches him and gets that bat. Waving him up, going to give him a taste of his own medicine. Bannon doesn't get up, and Thomas just slams him and goes for the pin. Doesn't even hit him with the bat. And that's a 3 count. Clarence Thomas didn't even hit him with the bat, but flexed on Steve Bannon and got the win with just a simple slam. Just a simple slam, and Clarence Thomas goes to the back, and he's won our week 6. So let's look at this replay again. You can see Steve Bannon is nailing Clarence Thomas with this bat, but then Thomas takes control of the situation, picks up the bat. You can see him waving Steve Bannon up, waiting for him to get up, but then he just slams him and pins him. That's it. Strange moves there by Clarence Thomas. I thought he was going to be giving him a beatdown, but he didn't. Let's look at our results tonight. Clarence Thomas at the top with 13 points, eliminated 3 people and got those 10 bonus points. Steve Bannon got 8 in second. The immigrant was 6. New York Times op-ed with 4. AOC got 3, so we'll probably make that finale next week. Hillary and the 3% both eliminated 2 people. So let's look at those full standings after 6 or 7 events. So this will be the order they come out in next week. Reverse order. So Mike Johnson will be number 27 out next week. Donald Trump will be number 26. Clarence Thomas will be the 25th man out. President Biden, a homeless guy there, the free thinker, the independent centrist, John Fetterman, reply guy, Alvin Bragg, that second page of results. Chase Oliver, again, that's not a NASCAR driver, that's a libertarian candidate for president. The bootlicker Steve Bannon moved his way up the list. New York Times op-ed, the immigrant RFK Jr., MTG, AOC jumped on up. Samuel Alito, the wealthy leftist. And that final, let's look at this next page, Bernie Sanders with 5. Tom Cotton, Hillary, J.D. Vance 3, Percenter, and the University President all got 4. And then Bob, my producer, Bob Dabalina, how many of these 3-pointers are going to qualify next week to fill out that 1? Okay, so 4 is kind of the cutoff, but one person with 3. So that list of folks with 3 points, one of them will be our opening competitor next week. So one of those folks will make it. I don't know how we decide that. In the past, they've let me choose, but I think they kind of, because of my hatred of J.D. Vance, they may not let me choose this year and put people in any order. Anyways, that's how this thing went tonight. As always, this is supported by my Southern Gothic Futurist Patreon. Patreon is where you submit or you commit to support an artist, any type of artist, what they're doing. It's kind of like an OnlyFans, except for it's the raw nudity of Raven Mac, except for it's the raw nudity of my soul. It's not the raw nudity of my body. Although, you know what, I'm trying to survive capitalism. If you need the raw nudity of my body, just hit me up with a request. Not many people do want to make that request, though. Don't worry. So hit that link in the bio or in the description there. Support that Patreon if you can. If not, we will be back next week. Week 7, our grand finale of the spring 2024 series of Monday Night Rumble or Discourse. Who is going to be crowned champion of the Discourse? I can't wait to see, and I can't wait to get it over with so I can take a little break from having to pay attention to the Discourse, because I'd rather pay attention to the wind chimes in the backyard. Know what I'm saying? So until next week, folks, salam.